Hello, boys and girls. Today is story time with Uncle Luke. Today's story, Marvel's Spider-Man. Peter wasn't amazing, and he certainly wasn't a hero until he crossed paths with a radioactive spider. He was an average teenager who attended Midtown High School and lived in Queens, New York, with his Uncle Ben and his Aunt May. Peter enjoyed school, especially science class. Although Peter loved to learn and study, he wasn't popular and was often bullied by the other students. Then one day, Peter's life was forever changed, and all because of that tiny black spider. While on a school field trip to the Hall of Science, Peter was accidentally bitten by the radioactive spider. Peter's teachers and classmates didn't see the glowing arachnid bite Peter, and they didn't see Peter rush outside to get some air. Dazed, Peter wandered out in the middle of the street. He was only snapped back to reality when a taxicab honked at him. Peter knew they had to react, so he closed his eyes and jumped. When Peter opened his eyes again, he was clinging to the wall on the side of a building, 3 stories above the street. Peter couldn't believe it. Not only was he sticking to the wall, but he could climb straight up its side, just like a spider. Aside from being able to climb up walls and ceilings, Peter soon discovered that he had super strength and that his reflexes were enhanced. He could move, think, and act faster than he had ever before. Peter stood in an alley, awed by the newfound abilities. He realized that he must have gotten powers from the radioactive spider bite at the Hall of Science. Now that Peter had these amazing powers, he needed to put them to the test. He found the perfect opportunity to do so at a local wrestling match that night. He signed up to be in a match. With a mask covering his face so that no one would recognize him, Peter stepped into the ring against a professional wrestler named Crusher Hogan. Crusher was the size of a gorilla, twice as strong, but he was no match for Peter Parker and his super spider strength. Peter was paid well for defeating Crusher. He decided to use his new powers to earn some extra money, but first he would need a disguise. Using the spider as inspiration, Peter Parker created a new identity. He was now the Amazing Spider-Man. But Peter's costume was not complete. Peter created a spiderweb fluid and web shooters that let him shoot and swing from spiderwebs just like a real spider. One night while performing, a security guard yelled to Peter to help him stop a burglar who had stolen money from the wrestling arena. But Peter was only concerned with himself and did nothing to help the security guard or stop the thief. Later, when Peter returned home, he saw police cars in front of his house. He rushed inside. Aunt May told him that someone had killed Uncle Ben. Just then, Peter overheard an officer say that the police had cornered the suspect down by the docks. Peter was enraged. He ran upstairs, changed into the Spider-Man costume, and swung off the docks. Spider-Man crashed through the ceiling and landed in front of the criminal. The villain pulled out a gun, but Spider-Man shot a web at him and yanked the gun out of the criminal's hands. Then Spider-Man leaped into action and landed a powerful punch across the villain's jaw. When the criminal half fell off, Peter was shocked to see that he was the same robber that he had let away earlier in the night. If only Peter had not been so selfish. If only he had acted. Peter used his webs to tie the criminal to a lamppost for the police to find. Then he remembered what Uncle Ben had always told him. With great power comes great responsibility. Peter finally understood what Uncle Ben had meant. He decided there had then to use his special powers for good. He vowed to always help those in need and to always fight for justice. Peter Parker was no longer an average teenager. He was now a superhero. He had become the Amazing Spider-Man. The end.